What's up YouTube, Mike here with another video, and today I wanted to do my impressions and review of the Microsoft Surface Dock 2. So let's get into it. So this has been a product in the making for a long time. The first Surface Dock came out 4, maybe even 5 years ago. It's been quite a while, but I've had that since it came out and haven't had any issues with it. But this is the updated version. Now, obviously, this is a niche product because if you do not have a Surface, and a newer Surface at that, then it's not going to work with your device. So first off, I want to get the negative out of the way because there's about 3 negative points of this. The rest of this is a pretty good device, but the first is the price. So right now, this retails for about $260. You can get it obviously from the Microsoft Store or Amazon or other sources, but I'll put a link in the description to this and any other product I talk about in this video in the description below. So like I said, this does cost $260, which would not be a big deal if it weren't for the second negative of this product. And that is that the compatibility is only with a Surface device. So obviously not everybody owns a Surface device, so it is a very niche product. And if you're going to pay $260 for a dock, it would be nice that, hey, maybe I've got a Surface now, but I sell it in the future and I get some other type of device, or I get an Apple, whatever, a Mac. It would be nice, instead of using the Surface Connect port, that they just made it a USB Type-C port. That way you can use it with any device you want that has USB Type-C. And my third gripe and negative with this dock is that it only works with the newer Surface devices. So even if you've got a Surface with the Surface Connect port, it may not work with it based on which model you have. Okay, so looking at this device, on the back side, you've got your power port, Ethernet port. It's got an audio jack, which will allow you to do in or out, so you can plug a microphone into this. It's got 2 display enabled USB-Cs on this side. Now the ones on the front side are data only, so those will not be able to drive a monitor. And then you've got 2 USB Type A ports. And again, all the data ports support 10 gigabytes a second. And then on the front of this device, you've got a Kingston lock, which I've never used. I've never seen anybody use, but it's there if you want to use it. And then on the back side, you've got, again, an additional 2 USB Type-C ports. And again, these are data only. So if you want to do display out, then you've got to use the 2 USB ports on the other side. Let's do a quick comparison to the original Surface Dock, because I do have that, and you may have that as well, and you're wondering if it's worth the upgrade. But as you can see, the footprint is nearly identical to the first gen Surface Dock. Now, to its credit, like I said, I've had the first gen dock I've had it since 2016, so it has held up really well. My biggest concern with any dock where it's got the cable where you connect would be that that cable would fray and wear out, but I've had 0 issue with that. So durability has actually been really good with these. But you can see that the ports obviously have been upgraded. You got rid of the display ports, replaced them with the USB Type-C ports. And the advantage of that is that with the original Surface Dock, you were limited where you could drive 2 4K displays at 30 Hertz and 1 at 60 Hertz. Now with the Surface Dock 2, you can drive 2 4K displays at 60 Hertz and 1 5K display at 30 Hertz. So that's quite the improvement. And also the data speeds for the ports went from 5 gigabytes a second up to 10 gigabyte a second transfer speeds when using the USB A ports, and in this case the USB Type-C ports. Now, as far as the compatibility of the Surface Dock, Microsoft's own website, the Surface Dock 2 is compatible with every Surface device that's currently out, with the exception of the Surface Pro 3, 4, and then the original Surface Book 1. Any Surface devices newer than those, this will work with. However, if you want to do the 4K 60, that is only compatible with the Surface Book 3, the Surface Pro 7, the Surface Pro X, the Surface Laptop 3, and the Surface Go 2. So if you want to do the, again, 2 4K displays at 60 Hertz, it's got to be a newer Surface device. Now, all the ones that I left out will still work with this dock, like I mentioned, but you're going to be limited to 30 Hertz instead of 60 Hertz when you're driving those displays. Now, one big improvement that I forgot to mention over the first generation Surface Dock is power output. So with the first gen Surface Dock, if you had a Surface Book 2 that had the external GPU, then literally you could discharge the battery in your Surface Book quicker than you could charge it with a dock. So with this, they upped the output power to 199 watts. So this thing will definitely charge any of your Surface devices. You won't have to worry about them draining while they're plugged into the dock. So like I mentioned, with the price of this thing, it is expensive in my opinion. And again, I think that price would be worth it if you were able to use this with devices other than a Surface device. So if they replace the Connect port with a USB Type-C port. But there are options out there. I'm just going to show you a few cheap options. And again, these will be in the these will be linked in the description below. But if you want to dock your Surface and you don't want to spend an arm and a leg, and if you've got a newer device with USB Type-C, then these are just some cheap options. These are a dime a dozen on Amazon. I'll link you to one, but works well. It's a quick, easy way to turn your Surface device into a desktop, essentially. So hook an external monitor, it gives you a couple extra ports. Here's another one. This is the J5 Create. Now I put a link to a newer model of these. Again, this one's actually got Ethernet, pass-through charging, 2 USB Type A's, but this one's around $25, I think. So all of these are fairly inexpensive, and they're quick, easy ways to turn your Surface into a desktop without paying $260 for a dock. So obviously on Amazon, there are a million different docks that you can get on there for USB Type-C. And finally, and the last one I'll show you I really like, it's called Buy Easy. It's again just a little dock. It's got all the ports you would really need. It's got like a faux leather on the top and bottom and a nice aluminum build. And again, it's only about 25 bucks. The only negative of this one is that it doesn't have pass-through charging, so you're not able to charge your device at the same time. But it's a nice little portable dock. Definitely recommend it. Throwing the links in the description below. All right, here's a quick ad hoc addition to my video with the internet speeds. Oddly enough, right now the Ethernet is plugged in to my router that I use also for my wireless, but when I run a test with the Ethernet, it is substantially slower than just using wireless. So this is with it plugged into the dock, and you know, it's decent speeds, but my internet is way faster than this. So let this finish real quick, and now I'm going to go ahead and unplug the Ethernet cable, and you'll see the difference. So I unplug this thing. Alright, so now the Ethernet cable is unplugged, and let's run it again. So now it's just using the Wi-Fi, and this is my Surface Pro X. And you can see that there is a massive difference. I can almost get up to my full internet speed. I can usually hit up to 400, but as you can see, it's a good 3 to 4 times faster than using the Ethernet, which makes no sense to me. So I don't know if that's something that can be updated with drivers or anything like that, but it's just something to be aware of. So at this point, I might as well just leave the Ethernet cable unplugged. So there you have it. This is a very niche device, but if you are a Surface owner, then it's still a good product. It does what it says. It doesn't take up that much room on your desk. I'll show you. It's a fairly small footprint, and it really does give you all the ports that you would need. So far, so good with me. I'm definitely going to keep it. I've had the original dock for, like I said, since 2016, so it's getting a little long in the tooth. It still works fine, but I'm definitely going to keep this. I think it's a nice upgrade with the additional ports and the ability to run multiple displays at 4K 60. Now, I currently don't own a 4K display. I mean, the one I have is 1440p, but it definitely works just fine. So I don't see any reason to get me a 4K display just yet. Maybe next year. So there you have it. It's kind of difficult to really review a dock, but like I said, I like it. I'm definitely keeping it. If you have a modern Surface device, I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, it's a little pricey, but if you compare, say, you know, a Thunderbolt 3 type dock, the price is going to be similar. It's going to be comparable, but me personally, I'm probably always going to have at least one Surface device laying around, so it's worth it to me. So as always, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, I would appreciate if you give it a like, and if you've not subscribed, I'd appreciate if you do so. And if you don't want to miss when I do another video, make sure you hit that notification bell. And like I said, as always, if you have questions, comments, make sure you drop it below, and I will do my best to answer that and respond. Thanks.